whether you want to call them sleep paralysis, alien abduction, the list goes on and on. The thing to realize is how similar a lot of these terrifying things are. Every person that became a victim had very similar experiences. Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. There was a couple of things that I experienced that actually was terrifying, and how they actually kind of relate to each other. I know I had actual encounters with whatever you want to call them, creatures from another world and stuff like that. I came across the one that I said that looked very similar, that picture that I showed, that looks very similar to the one that was the most terrifying. And there was two different experiences that I had with mantis type aliens. Possibly a third one, I just don't remember. And there was also a point where I actually had an experience of what is known as, it's sleep paralysis, but there was also something in the room. I remember seeing one time, a long time ago, back in 1995, I was about 23 years old. At the edge of my bed, of course I couldn't move and stuff like that, I saw what appeared to look like a little girl. And she had a bow on the side of her head, a white dress. As she came up to me, close to the edge of the bed, and with her fingers, she just poked me in the rib to get my attention. And I tried making out her face, but for some reason, I couldn't really see it completely. Now, for some reason, I felt something very eerie coming from this little girl. But I don't think that she was evil. I think whatever was surrounding her was evil. And I think I have a good idea of who that little girl was. There was another experience where I had, in which there was what I would call, I guess you would call it a gnome, or some kind of fairy being, or some I guess I don't know. And this gnome was actually it was bald headed, it was short, like about 3 feet tall. His face was very ugly, but he had a green glow, green glow to his whole aura, whatever kind of thing. And I think his skin tone was also kind of green glowing too. Not real bright, but just somewhat. And I remember he was just standing there, just staring at me. And I remember being terrified. But for some reason, I was compelled to actually talk to it through telepathy. I was speaking to it, and what it said was very disturbing. That according to this thing, whatever it is, that he is responsible for all the perverted shit that's been haunting me and my family. That there's a bunch of them, and he was pretty much giving me clues, either to just torment me, or I don't know what it was. But the thing about it is, he was actually telling me how they manipulate. They attack. When they're near somebody, they could have an effect on that person's aura. And that they're responsible for a lot of the twisted type of fornication kind of things, or whatever you want to call it. I guess even the sexual abuse, which I suspect. Only once after talking to it, it went away. I remember also that I only had one experience with what is known as the shadow man, or the shadow being. All you see is like a black silhouette. He had a black hat. Only once I saw it. And he didn't want me looking at him. So he would push my face away. And I heard a telepathic voice saying no. But he reached over and pushed my face away. I only had one experience with that. There was another experience that I can't really talk about, because not only was I taken aboard this ship or whatever it was something that was just way too strange, and the whole experience was it's too fucked up. Let's just put it that way. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, and maybe you might have similar type of experiences to that too. I do believe there's a connection to these gnomes, or these goblins, elves, whatever you want to call it, and with aliens. I did some research some years ago, and there is a connection because of the fact that these fairy beings, which are flesh and blood creatures, just to let you know, again, I'm just to not to sound like a broken record, but they are flesh and blood creatures. They're physical. They're biological. They have the technology to move into dimensions. That's why I suspect, and I know for a fact, that they're related to ETs. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and any thoughts on this thing, I would like to know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And to all of you, take care.